Oh, hey there. Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the two-stroke turbo channel. My name is Mark, your host, and we're picking up where we left off last week on replacing the clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder on a 1980 Fiat X19. You can see I've got the Haynes manual right here. This is a 1980. It is the last year this car was built, and even though it says it's got a catalytic converter, I do not believe it does. It's a really nice example. It's orange, and I'm on a step ladder. Let's get down and do an undercarriage tour before we take this for a drive. First of all, let's show you what I just showed you: the clutch master cylinder, which was under the dash and very hard to get to since the two retaining bolts were stuck, and the very hard to obtain clutch slave cylinder, which I'm thinking was the problem since the piston is stuck way down in the bore. We got that replaced, and that resides in the mid-engine compartment right up there. You can see the shiny clutch supply hose to it, and that triggers the clutch. So this car is mid-engine. In other words, it is not front engine. It is not rear engine like Volkswagen. The engine would be back here. It is mid-engine. The engine is actually right behind the seats, and there's a small trunk here in the back. This car has no catalytic converter. It has an exhaust header on it, and it is, I believe, a 1500 cc engine all up in there. We're doing an oil change right now. In case you're wondering why there's oil coming out of the drain plug, I've got my dolly there. We're going to use that oil to warm the shop probably next winter. Really neat car. Let's go through a few little things. We're looking at the back of the car here. It has a little ventilation here for the muffler. If you'll notice, the exhaust comes out of the engine. Let's see if I can get you up in there. You see the header up in there? It is a cross flow head or hemispherical head. The exhaust header comes down, wraps around. The catalytic converter, I think, would normally be here, up to the muffler, and then back and out the tailpipe over there. Big, huge stainless steel muffler. And that is all behind the rear subframe. You can see the boxed control arms, the adjustable tie rod ends for the rear, a 5-speed manual transaxle, some McPherson strut suspension, stainless steel brake lines, and this car is equipped with the green great stuff Hawk pads for stopping. 13-inch wheels, and these wheels are the original Chromadoras. You can see the size right there, and I think they're 5 by 13s. 4-bolt, 4-spoke with the original Fiat caps. Pretty cool. Some what are these, Federal tires? I have an interesting tread pattern. Really good shape. So the engine's in the back. This is our transmission shift linkage that comes from the tunnel area, and you'll notice these two tubes. These two tubes here are the main coolant hoses that go to the radiator, which is situated in front of the car. So the tubes run all the way through the transmission tunnel. They split up front. The radiator is up front, and it's angled downward with one electric fan. And the way that the car gets air is beneath the bumper through the whole grill area, which you don't see that too much from the top side. The car does have a front mounted radiator, which is crucial. We also have McPherson strut suspension. I forgot to mention 4-wheel disc brakes, or maybe I did, also with the Hawk green great stuff pads. There is radius rods that help support the lower control arms. And there's a lot of space up in this area because this is the bottom of the trunk. This car is really rust free. It's really nice. You can see there's some ventilation here on the sides of the car. I believe that's to ventilate the alternator, if I'm not mistaken. But enough looking at the bottom side of this car. Let's actually get into the car once we get it down and get some oil in it. And we're going to take it for a little drive to make sure that we have completed our clutch job. I should say our clutch hydraulic job. I was very much hoping that we weren't going to have to do a clutch on this car because it's a big job. Okay, so now that the car is down almost on the ground on the lift, you can't even tell where the radiator intake is. It's all below the bumper. You don't see it at all. This car has a very wedge-shaped front end for aerodynamics. It's like a little mini Ferrari because it is Italian, and it's made by Bertone. So let's take a look at a couple things here. We have our brake fluid reservoir and our clutch fluid reservoir. They are not the same. They do not swap fluids. They're completely separate. This car came in with no brake fluid in the clutch fluid reservoir, and it had about that much mud, which is just disgusting, wore out brake fluid. And that was partly why I think the hydraulics failed. The batteries up front, the washer fluids up front, the trunk will accept the target top. That's what this is for. You pop off the hard top target top there, and you just simply slide it in here, and you can have a hands-free air, open air experience, I guess. Hands-free. Yeah, hands-free when you go like this and you want to wave to people in a parade. That's what I mean by hands-free. So the whole top comes off. It's pretty neat. So what the interior looks like. We have our 5-speed transmission. We have just enough seating for 2 people. Surprisingly, there is a lot of legroom, and it's pretty fun. This car does have an aftermarket oil pressure gauge down below. I still have yet to put the under column trim back up. We'll get to that in a minute before we take it for a drive. And let's take a look at the engine from the top side. I'm doing an oil change. I am using Valvoline VR1, which has all kinds of zinc in it. You see that there? It says 2 times more zinc. Keeps flat tappet camshafts from going flat. And this is overhead cam. It is fuel injected. And these, I believe, were 1500 cc from the factory. This one has higher compression, and it may be bored out to 1550 or maybe 1600, I believe. And we have the old style trap door fuel injection, and I do not know if it has an oxygen sensor. It may. We do have an electronic fuel injector for our cold start valve. I believe this does have feedback control. No OBD controls on the for the emissions at all. So again, the engine is mid-engine right behind the rear window. The rear window does have a grid on it for defroster. The gasoline goes here in this area, in this cap, which is accessible without opening the lid, which is kind of nice. There is another trunk here under this, which I can't show you right now. And we're gonna get this thing down, get it put back together, and take you for a little drive and hot rod it around the neighborhood a little bit and see what you think about a 1980 Fiat X19. Really a fun, sporty little car. It is a little car. Okay, so we got the little Fiat running here, idling about 900 RPM. It's got a bit of a cam, I forgot. I think it has a stage 2 cam, so it idles a little choppy. Kind of like a V8 muscle car, except it's not. But it makes the engine vibrate, and you can hear the muffler clamps vibrating. And it's got the puck, 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 puck. Great looking car. We're going to take this thing for a little drive. Unfortunately, Stella, the shop dog, is not allowed to go for a ride. Are you, Stella? Stella, what's right here? Where are you? Where are you running away to? Okay. Well, let's hop in this thing. It's beautiful, 70 degrees today. I think it's time for a little ride. Get my long legs in this thing. Oh yeah, this thing is gonna be a good goer. You can tell. Okay, so how's our clutch feel? Yeah, it's about an inch off the floor, and it has about an inch of travel, so that's good. Nice. This thing is a little zip. It's a little rocket, I bet. We're gonna turn on our turn signal here. Idle is a little choppy, it's funny. Okay, so we're in first gear. Let her warm up a little bit. Second gear. Oh yeah, this thing is third gear. Oh, this thing's a little rocket. Little tiny engine, but man, does it want to go. We're gonna turn out the park here. Gotta wait for our temperature to come up a little bit. Brakes are completely manual. Forgot about that. Completely manual. So the pedal pressure is a little more than you'd expect. Let's put down in the second gear. We got good oil pressure. We did top up the oil. It took 4.5 quarts of that VR1 Valvoline, which has got the extra zinc in it. Car has 125,000 original miles. It's in excellent shape, no rust. It's very light to steer. Almost feels like it has power steering. Has a cute little air horn. Turn on our turn signal here. We're gonna zippy. We'll try the gears here a little faster once this traffic kind of mills out. Idle's right about 1,000 RPMs. Okay, we got the green light. Clutch is a little, it feels like it's got a stage 1 clutch in it. It's very switchy, like it's on or off. You can manipulate it, but it's 4,000 RPMs, first gear. Let's give her the beans in a second. Here we go. Oh yeah! That screams. Third gear, here we go. Oh, that's 60 miles an hour. Let's slow this baby down. Whoa, okay, brakes are good. Yeah, that gets with the program. That's really nice. What a fun little car. I bet you it handles amazing. Oh, this is a nice little car. Yeah, now the idle's kind of picking up a little bit. Brake on, walk around a little bit. Door handle's way down here. It sounds like the engine's got a knock, but that's the exhaust. It has those weird spring mounted metal hangers, and just when the engine vibrates, it makes a little knocking noise, but it actually sounds fine in real life. She's got a thumpy exhaust, and there's a lot of compression. It's a fun little car. Really fun, beautiful. Be really nice to take that top off and go for a drive out to wine country on some curvy roads. Oh, that'd be nice. What a day. Beautiful little hot rod that thing is. Super cool little Fiat. I'm glad that she's back, and I'm glad I didn't have to pull the engine or the transmission to fix the clutch. That makes me happy. It was a lot of work, but could have been a lot more. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.